Hello everybody and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid, and this week, build balancing. For what looks like a relatively long blog, there's actually not as a hiccup at you. Let me take a second here, okay? This past week, I've been trying to I've been doing my recordings as usual, but almost at the beginning of I'd say probably 80% of my recordings, the minute I start, I get this weird hiccup, and I don't know what causes it. It's frustrating. I apologize if it bothers you because it's bothering the shit out of me, and it only happens like once or twice. I'll get like one hiccup, and then I'll be fine, or I'll get like two hiccups, and then I'll be good. And it only happens when I record. Holy shit, it's annoying. Back to the blog. So, what looks like a rather long blog post for this Mondoid is actually relatively short in new information. Which is fine, because last week was very exciting and had a lot of information for us to divulge. There's one thing in this one that I would say is worth really noting, but the rest is kind of throwaway, and for that reason, we'll be having a relatively quick Mondoid video. I'll be going through what I deem is important. If you want to read the rest, please, by all means, come by and read the rest. This is just about summarizing the blogs, and that's kind of all it's about. So, first and foremost, the current build 30 on the I will back up my save branch is just doing a lot of balancing. There's a ton of balancing going on. Things are being added, things are being taken away, certain things are being fixed, certain things are being, broken in the process and then fixed afterward. It's your typical building, balancing, and fixing of a build. We're already at, 30.8, 30.9, and what's coming up at 30.10, as time goes on, the current build 30 is getting more and more fixed, which is great. It's not really something I'm worrying about. I personally haven't run into like very many bugs, if any bugs, at 30 point whatever in build 30 right now, but I'm one of hundreds of people playing this particular build. It's good to know that they're balancing, and they're good to know they're tweaking and making build 30 work as we barrel towards the official 1.0 release of Project Zomboid. The important thing I would say that is, in this Mondoid blog, the one thing I'm going to talk about, and it isn't even that much, is what's coming up in build 31. So, I always like to look forward. I always like to know what's coming up in the next build and what's happening, because the next build is, almost undoubtedly going to be more impressive than the current build that we're playing, or at least have fixes that change the game in drastic ways, right? So, I was curious rather, what is build 31 going to hold, since build 31 was initially going to be the build that was going to make the game more difficult, but that ended up getting pushed up into the build we're playing now, which is awesome. So I had speculations, but I held off on saying them because I didn't want to get excited about anything. And it looks like build 31 is going to introduce the new stealth system, which is one of the three or four things that they want to put into the game before 1.0 comes out, alongside NPCs, possibly vehicles, and other things. Obviously, Lemmy's still working on NPCs. We will not be seeing or hearing NPCs unless it's ready to go. We've already seen a couple of teasers a few weeks back. But next week, it looks like we're going to get the implementation of the stealth. And I'm very curious how it's going to work, which, I'm excited for how it's going to work, because stealth is going to make the game, again, change, right? Like, every time they implement something new, whether it be a new weather system or a new exhaustion system, the way zombies migrate, in a game that is so based on difficulty and realism, anytime they implement, change, or fix something in the game that is imperative to your gameplay style, the game will end up changing drastically. For instance, you can go back and watch my 150 episodes of like build 25 or whatever, my almost 100 episodes of build 27 thereon, and you can even see the differences between those. And then you go to the build that I'm playing now on my current series, and you can see a huge difference in how I play, because each build introduces and or fixes something that was either broken or is new or this, that, and the other that will completely shatter the way you've played it before. Stealth is going to be another one of those additions to the game that we've known has been coming for a long time, that is going to change the way the game is played. We're going to be hiding behind buildings. We're going to be pitting our character up against the walls, peeking around corners and in windows. We're going to be able to do scouting, all the scouting mechanisms, or all the scouting mechanics a little bit more safely and a little bit more intelligently, rather than walk my character around the building and look and then walk him back. Because if you do that, the zombie's going to see you. If you hide behind the building and peek around the corner, then you're not so going to be pulling the zombie's attention. You could do some quick scouting, but like look around or peek into a window, look in the building without really alerting the zombies in there. get a quick head count, how many you have to deal with, and then kind of go about your scavenging from there, as opposed to how we do it now, which is walk up to the building, look in the window, hope they don't see you, walk around the building, see if there are zombies around. If there are, deal with them, because they're obviously going to see you if you are walking, quite frankly, in front of them. So the stealth elements are going to drastically change the game, and it looks like that's what we're looking at coming into build 31, or at least the little bits and pieces, or the beginning of it all. It says it's all animated. It still looks a little rough, as we haven't implemented transition animations yet. Hopefully we can chuck a video your way when it's all through. That's awesome. So we're going to be seeing the animations are already done for stealth, so that is super duper sexy. And all other things that they have done ready for stealth is they already have a build-in which is possible to hug close to walls and nervously look around corners to provide a view cone glimpse of what horrors could be shambling nearby. It's all animated, all that other stuff. So all that stuff I was just talking about is already kind of ready-ish. It's probably rough and still a little bit broken, but it's getting ready for the final push into the I will back up my save branch, which is exciting. And then finally, Turbo Two-Tone, the newer developer on there, has brought a really interesting and complex design for radio transmissions and broadcasts to the table, which will allow for writer Will's work to spin out in many interesting new ways. That will be their focus in the run-up to Christmas. Oh, and RJ says they'll be jam-making in a future build too, which we'd imagine is something of a survival game first. Awesome. So that's it. That's Mondoid. The exciting thing is what build 31 is going to implement in the stealth features that I just kind of talked about a bit. But other than that, there's really nothing to discuss in this blog, which is fine. Short blogs are great. I am just, as I've said numerous times, I'm happy that we get a once-a-week update. It keeps us understanding as to what's going on in the game. And the closer we get to build 1.0, the more excited I'm going to be. So that's going to wrap it up for this Mondoid. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're a once-a-weeker, I will see you next week. If you're a regular, I will see you later today. And as always, I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.